When I was younger, I was very sensitive. I could feel the pain that people endured. My father once told me, "It's good that I can feel people's pain. It would be even better if I could transform one's pain into soothing relief." These words of my father nourished and nurtured the divinely planted seed in me to become a compassionate healer. And my journey with Ayurveda, the science of life, began. According to Ayurveda, our Panchabhautik body is an amalgam of space, air, fire, water, and earth. And solution to all chronic ailments lies in balancing these body elements. As the origin of Ayurveda goes back to thousands of years, so some part of our ancient historical knowledge is lost. That's why I started my own research and shared it with the world. Ayurveda can give very quick recovery, even quicker than allopathy, in most chronic ailments.
The blend of Ayurvedic medicines, Panchkarma, yoga, diet has helped Dr. Nadeep Sharma create the brand Risht Pusht and Team Nirogam by treating thousands of patients suffering from chronic illness. Join Dr. Nadeep Sharma's guided path of healthy living. Call now at +1 888 624 5925.
A very good afternoon to all of you in this live interactive session by us on World Parkinson's Day. Parkinsonism, Parkinson's disease. Although they may not be life-threatening disorders, but they really create a havoc in the life of those who are suffering from them. In Ayurveda, we call that as Krampavad. And today I'll be discussing with you various aspects of Parkinsonism and how we can come out of Parkinsonism. I can see some questions where I have been updated about some patients who are taking treatment. What I would like to reply you over here is one thing which is really very important is in a disease like Parkinsonism, always prefer to meet your doctor and start the treatment. We here are having 3 different brands when it comes to Parkinson's treatment. One, which is Risht Pusht, which is the most economical, cost-effective company of ours, which deals with patients, providing them with certain herbs which are very good for Parkinsonism. The second one is Herbogium, which are more quicker ones. And the third, where senior doctors are available to give consultations to their patients, that is Endicare. And if possible, if you are in the vicinity of any of our centers, or if it's possible for your patient to travel, always prefer consulting one of our doctors and then starting the treatment. So please do keep that thing in mind. So going ahead, Jai Shri Ramji, thanks for sharing the details, and it's really very encouraging. And you are sharing over here that you visited in New York, lab test done, result was this much, and before 8 months you have shared the reports. It's really good that the patient is down in the body, specifically of dopamine. Since the level of neurotransmitter goes down in a Parkinson's patient, as a result of that, our brain, which is providing messages, signals to the body to work, those messages are not provided in a proper way, leading to tremors, improper gait. There can be multiple signs. I'll be coming to the signs and symptoms of Parkinsonism. So since a person is not having the proper level of neurotransmitter now, as a result of that, there are various signs and symptoms of Parkinsonism like slowness of movement, tremors, flatulence, speech changes, loss of smell, impaired balance. So these are some of the common signs which I just detailed to you. These, all of them or some of them may be there in a patient who is suffering from Parkinsonism. So it always becomes very important that the moment you see that any of these signs are growing in your body, rather than delaying and rather than waiting for the dopamine levels to further go down, it's always advisable. The right steps at the right time will really help you out a lot. And when we talk about Parkinsonism, the general allopathic perspective in a Parkinson's patient is that dopamine, which is not in the required quantity in the body of a person. Now that dopamine which is less in a patient, and in the allopathic world, that dopamine is being substituted artificially by medicines like Syndopa and other medications. So instead of that, in Ayurveda, if I talk about the Ayurvedic perspective of Parkinson's disease, so it is Kampavat. And when we say Kampavat, it is a Vataj disorder. So we need to balance the vitiated Vata. What exactly do we need to do? First of all, we need to remember is why the number of Parkinson's patients are rising day by day. One of the major reasons is that nowadays we feel, and everyone feels, that see, oil, ghee, all kind of lipids are really bad for us, which is really a wrong perspective. In Ayurveda, it's always said, Snigdham chashniyat. Whenever you are taking a meal, do remember a part of ghee, a part of fats are required in the diet. So if you can take regular fats in your diet, you definitely can avoid diseases like Parkinson's disease. So diet and lifestyle, it really plays a very great role in a patient, as you can see in this slide which is there in front of you. So use old rice. Nowadays we are in a habit of taking new grains. In the ancient times, it was always said, use old rice. Wheat is not bad, citrus fruits are good for you. And as I just said, regular oil consumption, sesame oil is the best for that. Always do some aerobic exercises, take a balanced diet, be as active as possible, and do remember, ghee is not your enemy. It is required to a great extent. So these are some of the things which we can do to prevent Parkinsonism. But at the same time, a very common thing which I can advise you at your homes is always take warm water. प्रयास कीजिए कि गर्म पानी पीजिए. If you can take warm water, that really can help out if you are suffering from Parkinsonism. Now when we talk about Parkinson's disease, generally when people start with Syndopa and with other allopathic supplements which are providing them dopamine, synthetic dopamine, they definitely get a good result, a good recovery in the initial part of the treatment, although that is temporary. And gradually, when the body starts getting dopamine from outside world, it stops producing its own dopamine up to further an extent. So that is why it becomes very important that as an emergency medication intermittently that can be used. But if we feel that that is going to treat Parkinsonism, no, we are at fault. If you really want to come out of Parkinsonism, there are various herbs which can really help you out. And as you can see, one of the herbs which is there on your screen for that is Kapikachu. It's also known as mucuna. And scientifically it is proven that mucuna is one of the richest sources of natural dopamine in the body. But what is very important over here is that mucuna, when we are talking about mucuna, when we are talking about Kapikachu, what is very important is that, see, people will say that this also is a source of dopamine, and at the same time when we are taking Syndopa, it also is a source of dopamine. You are to remember, Kapikachu is a source of natural dopamine. It is Vayu Shama. It is a Rasayana. So if you are taking Kapikachu in any form, in the form of conch bark, in the form of our own, there is a special research based formulation which we developed for Parkinsonism on the name of Park Care tablets. So now when we talk about Park Care tablets which we manufacture by ourselves, a very major content of those Park Care tablets is Kapikachu, that is conch. Going ahead further with the next group of herbs, Ginkgo biloba. Again, Ginkgo biloba is a herb which is accepted by the modern allopathic world also, that it is really very good for Parkinsonism. It improves the circulation, neurocirculation. Brahmi. Again, Brahmi is a very famous herb. People use Brahmi in Alzheimer's also. It is considered to be a very ideal herb for restoring your memory also. This Brahmi again is an excellent herb for a Parkinson's patient. But having said that, as we just saw some of your questions also, these herbs are important. The lifestyle change is important, but the most important is the diagnosing doctor. When you are taking treatment for Parkinsonism, for a disease like Parkinsonism, it becomes very important that the right kind of diagnosis is done under a trained, a specialized Ayurvedic doctor. You are always welcome in case you want assistance from our team. We are having a team spread across the world. We are having various centers where Panchakarma therapies are done for patients suffering from Parkinsonism. If someone is suffering from advanced stages of Parkinsonism like PSP, someone is having complications of Parkinsonism which are in case of advanced Parkinsonism, you can also be admitted at one of our centers and you can go for a Panchakarma curriculum. People do respond with physiotherapy in Parkinsonism partially. People do respond in emergency with the synthetic dopamine also which is given to them. But then the most important out of this all is that see, we need to combine everything on this earth. That means in emergency allopathy, for muscle tone development, physiotherapy, and for treatment from the grassroots level for a Parkinson patient, Ayurveda. So all these things need to be combined together for the betterment of a Parkinson's patient in case we really want the patient to come out of the disease. And that is why our helpline numbers are there in front of you. You can always contact us on these helpline numbers and our team will be more than willing to help you out for your Parkinsonism. Because if we are today with you live on this World Parkinson's Day, our motive is not merely selling off some supplements to you. If any of our guidance like taking sesame oil, like herbs, the lifestyle changes, the Panchakarma therapies which we are guiding, if any of our guidelines can help you reverse this Parkinson's disease and bring you to a healthier life, a tremor-free life, we will really feel that yes, we have been successful in utilizing Ayurveda and medical science to the positive and the fullest extent which it is required. So, आज मेरे जो भारत के अंदर पेशेंट्स हैं उनके लिए भी मैं आपको कहना चाहूँगा कि हमारे हेल्पलाइन नंबर्स आपके पास हैं। अगले पूरे एक हफ्ते के लिए हमारे हेल्पलाइंस में हमारे डॉक्टर्स के साथ आप कंसल्ट करना चाहते हैं पार्किंसंस के लिए, आप कॉल कीजिए, एब्सोल्युटली फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट। आपको पूरी गाइडलाइंस दी जाएंगी, आपको पूरा बताया जाएगा। आप में से कोई भी व्यक्ति जो हमसे पार्किंसंस का ट्रीटमेंट ले रहे हैं या लेना चाहते हैं, जो हमारी अपकमिंग चंडीगढ़ ओपीडी है, आप उसके लिए कॉल कर सकते हैं। इस वर्ल्ड पार्किंसंस डे पे आप में से कोई भी वहाँ आना चाहिए। अगेन दैट विल बी अ फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट एडवाइस फॉर एनी वन ऑफ यू कमिंग ओवर देयर। सो जैसे ही आप जो वीडियो है मेरा आप तक पहुँचता है, आपके आसपास कोई भी पार्किंसन से जूझ रहा है, हमारा फ़र्ज़ बनता है हम मदद करें। कुछ और नहीं कर सकते तो ये ज़रूर सुजेस्ट करें उनको कि सीसमे ऑयल, अपने नॉर्मल घी, अपने नॉर्मल तेल जो वो इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं कुकिंग में, उसकी जगह पे अगर वो सीसमे ऑयल इस्तेमाल कर सकें, वो एक फार बेटर आस्पेक्ट रहेगा उनके लिए और बड़ी अच्छी रिकवरी मिलेगी। तो इसी के साथ मैं आज आपसे आज्ञा लेना चाहूँगा, इसी उम्मीद के साथ कि आएँ, पहला सही कदम उठाएं हम इस वर्ल्ड पार्किंसंस डे पे पार्किंसंस को गुड बाय कहने के लिए। हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। नमस्कार।